The Yakuza series is very well known for its heavy focus on great music and blah, 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 whatever, who cares? You already know why you're here. You're here to hear some of my opinions to weigh them against your own, or maybe you just want to get a slice of the music from this series. So I'll get right to it, but just before I do, I'm not going to discuss story moments or try to show too many spoilers or anything like that, but some of the music I'll be showing might be late into a game's story, so just saying that to warn you. But I've got timestamps in the description for every RGG game going in release order, which of course means we start right from the start with Yakuza 1. The first Yakuza game set the standard for the series of always having very high quality music, and I think the perfect way to describe all the songs in this game is that they're funky, energetic, and fun. And unsurprisingly, the song that I think perfectly encapsulates that is my favourite one from this game, and it's what I think is the most famous. Won't bother with any more build up because it's very obviously Funk Goes On by Hidenori Shoji. Up next is Yakuza 2, which had a rather unique soundtrack thanks to a majority of the songs being done by 3 people that only ever worked on Yakuza 2 and a few karaoke songs in 3. One of those people is Hideki Sakamoto, who made my favourite song from 2, Hit and Kill, pretty much just because of how insanely fat the drums are. The next game in this series was the Japanese exclusive Kenzan, which admittedly I don't have as much experience playing as the other games, but thanks to this channel I do have a lot of experience listening to the songs. And my favourite is the song Thistle Shop, or Azami something or other, from the Hostess minigame. And I'm going to be honest, pretty much the reason why it's my favourite is because it was done by Keisuke Ito, who's best known for his work on the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon soundtracks. Yakuza 3 is, yeah, look, it's the same as everyone else. It's Hidenori Shoji's Fly. Yakuza 4 is actually a bit of a tough one for me. I've always felt that this was the game where they started to go a bit further with the soundtracks and explore more variety, so there's plenty of great songs to choose as a favourite for all kinds of taste. But in the end, there's one for me that will always come out on top, and it's Chihiro Aoki's Infinite Handcuffs. After 4, they released the first Kurohyō game, or Black Panther, a PSP spin-off that was kinda like a 3D fighter, and people get mad at me when I pronounce it Kurohyō and not Kurohyō, but get stuffed, it's hard, but not as hard as the soundtrack. It was an incredibly fun game to play and to listen to, thanks to artists like Hyde Lunch, who ended up becoming a staple composer for the series, and Hideki Naganuma of Jet Set Radio fame, who made what I think is everyone's favourite, Your Knife Feels Good. However, it's not my favourite, and that's because it's instead Hideki Naganuma's The Naked Panther. Then there was Dead Souls, a prime example of compensation, because despite the fact that the game fucking sucks because it doesn't ever run above 2 FPS on the only hardware it was ever designed to run on, it does fortunately have an incredibly good soundtrack. And for that we can thank Mitsuharu Fukuyama, who gave us songs like my favourite one for the game, and also one of the first songs you ever hear, Akiyama's battle theme. And then I also wanted to include the other chorus that was exclusive to the official soundtrack version of the game, just because it deserves to be heard. After that was the sequel to the previous PSP spin-off, simply titled Kurohyō 2 and a bunch of other stuff. But once again, it was a fun game to play and to listen to, featuring Hideki Naganuma for sadly the last time in this series, but this time featuring for the first time ever, Zenta, who also ended up becoming a prominent composer for the games. And Zenta blesses our ears with my favourite song of the game, Little Revenge. Yakuza 5 was much like 4 in that it tried to expand the soundtracks to a whole new level, and 5 was where I always felt that the diverse sound truly took off. I'm sure everyone's favourite is without a doubt the single most popular song from the series, Baka Mitai, which I would play a snippet of, but to be honest, everyone's heard it 1,000 times, so I won't bother. But I will play for you my favourite song of the soundtrack, which is from the laughably easy Haruka dancing minigame. It's Be the Star by Chihiro Aoki. Except, you see, there's one other song from Yakuza 5, but this one is one of only a handful in the game that never appeared in the official soundtrack. So because it was never officially released, I'm gonna cheat and also say that the Daigo boss battle theme that only played in the international versions of the game, which I've always theorized was done by Mitsuharu Fukuyama, is also my favorite song of the entire game. After Yakuza 5 was the Japan-exclusive Ishin. It later got re-released in the rest of the world, containing all the original songs from the original game, plus a few additional ones. Ishin has an incredible soundtrack. You click on any random song and you are guaranteed to be blown away. From songs like the best version of Nishiki's theme by Keitaro Hanada, to the overwhelming amount of awesome songs for the side content by Hyde Lunch and Zenta, like Zenta's Lost Lewisite. But my favourite song is the one that I think is also most other people's favourite, Hidenori Shoji's Assassination of the Bodhisattva, or as it's officially known, Kanji from Persona 4. It's a song that is so incredible you have to really wonder why the hell Shoji doesn't make music for this series anymore. Then of course there's also the few extra songs added in the remake, all of which were remixes of themes from other games, but they never properly published these songs, so I don't know who did what. But what that means is that Fly gets to appear 2 times on this list, because my favourite of those new songs is the song that isn't called Saw, and if one more person tells me it is, I'll slice your penis off. After Ishin was the game that helped to skyrocket the series in the West to the state it's in today. To the state it used to be in, which of course also got the incredibly necessary re-release that made no one angry, and that game was Yakuza 0. The soundtrack was definitely one of the highlights for many people, featuring a slew of incredible songs. But there was one song in particular that will always be my favourite thanks to the effect it had on me, because in all honesty, I started getting pretty bored with 0, and then Zenta came in and hit me in the face with Interplanetary Spark, and that was enough to make me want to keep on playing so I could hear everything that the game had to offer. After After Zero was Kiwami, the first remake of this series, which was a remake of the first game, and which understandably remixed a bunch of songs from the original, but it also came up with brand new ones. The soundtrack was incredibly good, despite what people like to say, except for the, Funk Goes On remix, sorry, Yuri Fukuda, I don't know what you were smoking. But my favourite song was Sara Yoshida's remix of Hidenori Shoji's Intelligence for Violence, which went from a funky little battle theme to, well, ideal for violence. Then in the same year as Kiwami was Yakuza 6, the first game on the brand new Dragon engine, and the second time Chihiro Aoki directed a soundtrack. I guess though, because 6 had a very different style across the board, the soundtrack overall had a very different direction to Ishin, her previous director role, creating a very unique package. There's the song that I think was everyone's favourite, the staggeringly beautiful Destiny by Sara Yoshida. But for me, my favourite has always been and forever will be the sickest fucking song from the whole game, Lots of Lights by Zenta. Piggybacking off the previous two games, there was Kiwami 2, which was of course a remake of Yakuza 2, and was basically just a big mod for Yakuza 6. Were I to rip my ears off and iron my brain so that there are no more wrinkles, I would agree with all the 14-year-olds on Reddit who say that this game has a bad soundtrack. However, I am not a dumb fuck that doesn't deserve human rights, because I know that Kiwami 2 actually has one of the goddamn best soundtracks in the series. The problem with it though, it never got an official release beyond a few songs included in a little CD alongside Kiwami 1 songs. But within this game, we have stuff like Break Off by Yuri Fukuda, Unity of Metal by Sara Yoshida, the Majima Saga battle theme, a scattered Eternal Moment remixed by Chihiro Aoki but originally done by Hidenori Shoji, but for me, my favourite's the second final long battle theme because it's so good that it gets 3, but technically it's actually 2 songs. But this second part, I believe, was done by Chihiro Aoki, and it starts getting you all pumped up. Then it smashes your teeth in with just this insane theme, all to fight a random Korean dude who was just another man who erased his name. After Kiwami 2 was a very different game called Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. And yes, even though you might think it's a Fist of the North Star game, it is very blatantly a reskinned Yakuza game, and it is unfortunately very blatantly garbage and I hate it. But I never have and I never will deny the fact that the soundtrack is ridiculously awesome. Unfortunately though, just like Kiwami 2, this game never got any official publications with its music, and so these amazing songs have never been credited to their incredible composers. For the longest time though, my favourite has always been the final long battle theme by most very likely Hard Lunch, partly because it was the only song I could really remember as it was the only part of the game I had fun with, but also because it was just, well, listen to it. But after recently doing a second playthrough live right here on YouTube, wow, everyone subscribe right now, thanks, my mind has actually changed. These days, my favourite song is the song that plays against the guy who genuinely should have been the final boss, but whatever, because it's Kyo's theme by most likely Chihiro Aoki. After that game though was another spin-off that wasn't Yakuza but was, which is of course Judgment, the game that exists within the two-part Judgment series. And a fun fact about the Judgment series is that it is infinitely better than the Yakuza series because there's no Dead Souls in Judgment. Oh, wait, never mind. As expected, this game also has an insanely good soundtrack. Unfortunately, I never see people these days say this, but I remember back when it was the newest entry, many people criticized it for having a soundtrack that was too dubsteppy, which is ironic because for me, my two favorite songs, and yes, I said two because I actually couldn't decide, are two very much not dubstep songs. There's Yagami Detective Agency by Hide Lunch, which is literally just a cutscene song. As he's one of the best drummers in the world, or at least he's sure as shit better than me, Hide Lunch has always put incredible drum beats in all of his songs, and that's exactly what I love most about this one. But the other song is The Flower of Chivalry, or Gikyo no Hana. I don't know if I said that right, I'm white, I'm sorry. But it was by a composer who is one of the best guitarists in the world, and who sadly only ever worked on Judgment. But hey, it's all good because it's thanks to Jin Senbonmatsu that we got to listen to this. The next game was then Yakuza Like a Dragon, which was actually Yakuza 7 in Japan, and it was bizarrely a turn-based RPG. As always, it came with another incredible soundtrack, and ironically, like Pokemon, I feel like pretty much every song here will be someone's favourite. There's a lot to like with all of them, but for me, my favourite has always been the remix of Receive You the Prototype by Hidenori Shoji, which was called Receive You the Hyperactive. It was done by 83 Key, who hasn't done that many songs, but every single time, they are certified bangers. Then there was Lost Judgment. Oh my god! Lost Judgment. The best game these people have ever made, but as you might guess from the name, it was a sequel to Judgment, and much like Judgment, it also had an incredible soundtrack. Like my second favourite song, In the Groove by Keitaro Hanada, where he does his usual bullshit. Or what I think is most people's favourite, Unwavering Belief by Chihiro Aoki. But for me, my favourite song from the game, which is one of my favourite songs of all time, was actually a remix of Unwavering Belief, and was yet another savage song by 83 Key. Dig in Your Heels, the most unnecessarily epic boss theme for, like, the least epic boss of the whole game. But back when Sega actually remembered that they made their best game ever, we also eventually got a post-launch DLC known as the Kaito Files, which sometimes is kinda considered its own game. It is sadly yet another thing that never got any official soundtrack publication, which is a shame because it's got great songs. Like my favourite one of the whole DLC that isn't called Neon Sunset or whatever bullshit. Please stop trying to correct me. It plays when you fight the Blood Drunk Master, the secret boss who just used Tesso's fighting style from the main game. I don't know why they did that. But it also plays when you fight alongside Kaito and Gaiden, the next game to be released. Because of that, plus its general feel, I've kind of always felt like it was actually more accurately Kaito's theme, rather than the Blood Drunk Masters. Anyway, rambling aside, please enjoy that song by, I believe, Hide Lunch. After the Kaito Files, we got Like a Dragon Ishin, but I already looked at that. So instead, I'll look at Gaiden, and Gaiden's soundtrack was just like fucking... Oh! That's how I feel whenever I listen to it. Just the insanely amazing songs like 83 Keys' Soul of the Yoga. Keitaro Hanada's Deadly Struggle. Ryo Fukuda's Psycho's Anthem, which used to be my favourite song from the game. But people change. One day you might think the best song is Psycho's Anthem, and one day you might be awakened to the truth and know that the actual best song is the remix of Chihiro Aoki's Appassionato from Yakuza Like a Dragon. This remix, done by Zenta, is honestly what I think to be one of two of the greatest video game remixes of all time, and plays during the final section of the game, which just so happens to also be one of the sickest sections in any video game ever. Everyone please say thank you to Zenta for the song titled Italian Words I'm Scared to Pronounce. Up next is Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, a game which unfortunately, due to the not very exciting nature of the game, had a great soundtrack that didn't really have much of an impact on people, which is of course a shame because it contains some awesome songs like Keitaro Hanada's Mad Dog. And I could just say every other Keitaro Hanada song because he's the GOAT, but I'll just say Keitaro Hanada's remix of Saru Yoshida's Fiercest Warrior, which is the best remix of Fiercest Warrior. But I have to pick one, and that one is pretty easily the most powerful song to ever come out of what is basically a minigame, and that's Mitsuharu Fukuyama's The Power of Goro's Pirates. Then we have the most recent game, Yakuza Kiwami 3, a big heaping pile of dog shit that fortunately, as always, has a very good soundtrack. It's another remake, which unlike Kiwami 1, has only a few remixes from the original Yakuza 3, and instead it contains mostly original songs, some of which include another Keitaro Hanada banger, Alone in the Darkness, yet again more of Keitaro Hanada's bullshit with Dark Alley. And before the game came out, I honestly thought that Dark Alley was going to be my favourite tune, and yet in comes Yasuyuki Nagata, a composer relatively new to the series who hadn't really done too much, and yet here they are with their remix of Hidenori Shoji's Ogre Has Returned, which first of all has this savage bit. Then very quickly goes to the reason why this is my favourite song from the game, even though I hate Lau Ka Long. I'm not finished with this video. Keen-eyed viewers or fellow Spectrum enthusiasts may have noticed I skipped over Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and there's a very good reason for it. That's because it has what I believe to be the best soundtrack of the series, so I thought it was appropriate to leave it till last. You've got life-changing music and literally the intro of the game with Chihiro Aoki's Viva La Vida, 83 Keys Giftiker Fullhalter, which is a German name against a Chinese guy who runs an old-school American-themed casino. The other best video game remix of all time, which was Brutality Rebuild by 83 Key, remix of Chihiro Aoki's Brutality. there's the inconceivably epic The End of Denial by Chihiro Aoki. But none of it compares to my favourite song. Not just from Infinite Wealth, not just from this series, but my favourite song, full stop. It's a song that whenever it comes on in my shuffled playlist, I quite literally go, woo! Yes! Yes! It's yet another Keitaro Hanada classic because that man cannot be stopped. Everyone, please enjoy the peak of mankind, Kuki, by the one and only Keitaro Hanada. If you agreed with every song on my list, I don't believe you. But feel free to let me know what your favourite songs are, and feel free to tell everyone who says Kiwami 2 has a bad soundtrack to get fucked and die.